Welcome back. In this session, we are going to understand what is the difference between route parameters versus query parameters. Okay, route parameters we can call as a path variable also. Okay, uh, like path variable or route parameters versus query parameters. Okay, just let's jump into the code and understand by doing practice. Okay, so in some situations, okay, suppose the HTTP, suppose right now we are just using localhost, okay, localhost, and if you have like we are dealing with the formats list, right? So formats. So in some situation we will write formats, and I need um, details about a format who's having ID as 101. Okay, sometimes same thing we can do like this also. Localhost, okay, formats, and you can give a query parameters and where like former ID equal to 101. Okay, in the both in this both the ways we can get the details action. But when we should use this is a route parameter and this is a query parameter. Okay, but when we should go with this approach and when we should go with this approach is very important. Okay, here I will explain simply. It's because whenever suppose you have a multiple users details or the farmer details, like any product details, if you want to get one specific item from that list, it's better to go with the first approach. And if you want to filter or sort, okay, sorting, if you want, what suppose you have a list of users are there, and if even if you have a product list inside there, and you want to filter the data like based on like price greater than or equal to 5,000 rupees, or you need to sort in a sort by ascending order or descending order. At the time we should go with this approach. Okay, normally, so formats here we can say just open this formats list we have. I just came up with six farmers details like Vinay, Sudhir, Kalyan, Sai, Karan, and Dinesh. And if you see, I just observe the location. Like IDs are unique, names are unique, email IDs are unique. But here the location is like few for the first three records. It is like TS, like Telangana, and second the set of items are following the location as AP. Suppose if you want to get the farmers details based on the location at the time, it's better to go with the query params. Understood? So at the time, so here you can say that query parameter location equal to and yes, so then it will be more meaningful. So I hope you guys understood, right? Whenever we are going to deal with sort or filter especially, so then it's better to go with the query params. And whenever we are going to read a particular record or particular item in that array or from the database, it's better to go with this approach. So now we are going to write some examples for this this one and with a query parameters as well. Okay, first we can go with this one. I think I already have explained in the previous video. So, but here we are comparing. That's why I want to explain one more time. So here let's build the route for that. Okay, sorry. So app dot get is a method, right? And here first you can give a path. What is the path? Suppose formats are there. That's it, formats. And if you want to get based on that ID, so at the time just give a forward slash and colon ID. So if you want to give any route parameters or path values, you should follow this syntax. Okay, colon and ID. Don't forget to give a colon. Okay, this is very important. And here just a handler. It is a callback function. And here that is request comma response. Request comma response. So fine. Okay, how we will get this parameters that query parameters, okay, from request.params. If you see, just to do, I'm just doing console.log, console.log, writing params. Params, okay, new route parameters. Okay, this will be available in request.params. And at the same time, because for the same URL you can give a query string also. Okay, for that we don't need to mention anything like this. Okay, query or sort by something, nothing. So okay, whatever the user is going to provide in the URL, from that we can read it. So those things will come under console log. Okay, here what is that? Query params, query params, query params. Just put comma. And here request dot query queue. That's it. So if you pass any route parameters, those values will be available in request dot params. And if you want to get read any query parameters, okay, you can take those details from request dot query. So here, so let's run the application. Okay, for that name set we can send a respond dot send. Okay, just say wait for a few minutes, we are understanding the difference between params and query. Okay, fine. So just run the application. Okay, already in the last session we understand what is the importance of nodemon, right? So that I hope you have installed the nodemon and index.js. So we don't need to stop the server for each and every change in the application. So it will take care of that. So okay, it's there. The HTTP localhost 3000. And just what is the route, like farmers, farmers. So we don't have a route, okay, for just forward slash farmers, we have removed previously. So here it is expecting, suppose if you provide any ID, then it will hit that route. So I'm just hitting 101. Okay, wait for a few minutes. Okay, then let's see the console. So hopefully we got, okay, route parameters ID colon 101. Okay, it will be provide the details in a string format. But query parameters, right now we didn't add any query parameters in that URL. That's why it is completely empty. But now just go and add query parameters like location equal to yes. Enter. See, now we got the route parameters at the same time query parameters. So based on this information, and you can filter the information or you can get the information and send it back to the user. Okay, this is simple. So here we didn't provide any like question mark or something at server. Okay, whatever the things we will provide after question mark, those will be a query parameters. Let's see. Now here I'm just separating. So in this example I'm going to use requested params, and query params we can go and use in a another route. Okay, so first I'm just removing this. I hope you guys understood. Okay, for understanding purpose I just added in the same place. Now I just remove that. Here requested params, so we will get ID. So based on that ID, and just filter the details from this farmers list and return to the user. Simple. I hope you are already aware of how to do that. Okay, let's like I'm just taking constant single farmer, right? Farmer here, farmers list dot find, because we know that we are maintaining a unique ID and this item, and we need to pass the call, like the callback function item. Okay, this time I will copy the ID properly. Last time I did a mistake. So, so item dot format ID is equal to, because we need to check with that route parameter, right? So that how we will get request dot params dot id, because we have mentioned here ID. Even if you provide like farmers ID or user ID, so you should just read in a proper way. But we know, right, this is coming in a string format. So that's why we should convert it to a number like this. So that parse int and just convert it before checking. So that's fine. So we got the former details and just send it. Okay, so yeah, you can handle the whether user is not available, just send error message. Okay, that's a practice for practice. Already I've explained. Otherwise, okay, I will do that. So simple. If user is available, that means user is not undefined. So we can go with respond.send. Okay. And if it is, if you don't find any user, this respond.status code. So because we are hitting error, it's better to give an error code and send a message. Okay, what's the message? Yeah, like details are not found. Otherwise, just not found. A simple message, not found. Error or something. Fantastic. So let's see first of all whether it is working or not with the route parameters. So application is up and running so that we don't need to worry about anything. So I'm just doing this one. So this is the expected one. 101 is coming and just go with 102. Yes, fantastic, it's working. So even if you give any mm, ID which is not available, so it is written not found error. This is fantastic, right? Hope you guys understood. Please do practice up to this point and then practice the next one, how to deal with the query parameters. Okay. So now I'm going to explain how to deal with the query parameters. So for each and every route, you can pass the query parameters and you can read the query parameters. Based on that, you can just implement the routing part and the implementation part. Here, I'm just going after get and the path is like a farmers. Okay, for this example, this is enough. So here, I'm just going to add the handler and here also we will get request object and response object. Okay. Here, suppose if we pass any query parameters and for filtering, so this if you don't get any parameters directly, we can return all the farmers list. But if you found anything in a query parameters, we can filter and send it back. So if you see here, suppose how to read the query parameters. So request dot query, okay, query dot length. Okay, that's it will written in the object form, right? Okay, right now, don't worry. So just we can do make it simple. Otherwise, later we can do all the conditions. So if we got any query parameters, like I'm just putting like constant that value or my query value. So request dot query dot what's that? We will get a field, right? So let's go and just do a console.log. If we give question mark and location, so we are going to read that value as a location. Of course, we should do a lot of validations here. So for now, like we are following, like we are going to query with location. Okay. So otherwise, suppose we don't know, right, whether he will provide as a location or email ID or any other filters. So we need to do some validation. Okay, we can learn that in our next session. Don't worry about that. I will explain. So right now, if we get request.query.location, so here we can say that so anything like value or something, we can just store that. So based on that, we should filter. So how to filter? Suppose farmers list is there from a list dot filter because it's a query parameters and we are using that for a filtering purpose. And here we can do like this item. I don't want callback function. This item dot location. If that item dot location is equal to this location which you have mentioned in the query parameter. So that is a value, right? So here if it is a string, that's why we don't need to convert because item dot location is a string here, and we are getting as in a string format. That's why we don't need to convert it. So just var. So it will return those details, the constant, the filter details, FD, like format details of a field, whatever it is. Just do the response dot send. So send and FD. Here also you can do some validation, like if you don't find any details, just throw an error. So right now I'm just make it simple. I'm just doing the success case. Fine. So let's go on. Already we are dealing with a node mod, so that we don't need to worry about whether it is working or not. So let's go and hit one at one like the previous one. This coming with the route parameters, and now go and provide the query parameters. Location is equal to TS. You see, we got the details, right? First, this is about TS, and this is the TS, and this is the TS. And suppose AP, we got the details after filtering based on this query parameters. Still, we need to do improve a lot in this section because we don't know whether he will provide a query parameter based on the location or any other field in that object, right? It's a definitely. And if you don't find any details, definitely just send a error message like how we just handle here. Okay. In the next session, definitely we can understand how to add some validations. Okay, here, definitely I will come up with the best example so that we will understand easily. I hope you guys understood, right? Just come back, and even if you need a more information, always better to go and read the documentation or some other video tutorials. Definitely. So here he has explained in a beautiful way. So if you want to identify a resource, you should use a path variable like route parameters. But if you want to sort or filter items, then you should use a query parameters. It's very simple. So I hope after doing practice, hopefully you will remember this for a long time and when to use route parameters or path variable or versus and query parameters. And I hope you will do practice. Thank you and see you in the next session with another beautiful